Hey guys, this is Matt Wenning at winningstrength.com. And so a couple of days ago, I posted a video on the tips you need before you start a gym process, i.e., having a plan. This video is dedicated to people that their plan is to work on aesthetics, meaning they want to look more muscular or they want to be leaner. And there's a lot of confusion in this area that I would like to try to make sure that you get the best stab at what you're trying to do. So let's get to that. The first step isn't actually a gym tip at all. It's something that revolves around your eating processes. So a lot of times how you look or how lean you are is not only a factor of how hard you train, but it's also a factor of how hard you're dialing in your nutrition. So most people will see massive improvements in looks and, most importantly, hopefully if you're in this for the long term, blood work with actually changing what they eat more so than changing what they actually do at the gym. So if you're starting off and your main goal is aesthetics, your nutrition and dialing that in will be far more important long term than actually how you train. And I'm not downplaying working out. Don't get me wrong, that once you get that certain percentage body fat and once you've dialed in your nutrition, you're probably going to have to actually gain more muscle, which is going to require you to train. But without having the discipline on the diet, you might be getting bigger, but your body fat and muscle mass tend to like to raise at the same rate. Conversely, it happens the same way on the downward slope. If you're overstarving yourself, you're going to lose fat and muscle roughly at the same time. The body likes to create an equilibrium or homeostasis. And with that, high muscle mass and low body fat is not really an ideal environment for survival. So you have to almost scientifically trick the body into getting leaner and putting on more muscle tissue because we are built to survive, not necessarily be aesthetically pleasing. So how do we do this? Well, one, we have to get our protein intake down straight. So anytime somebody comes into the gym for an assessment or a nutritional guidance, the first thing I do is start to regulate their protein. And what does this mean? Well, there's lots of different calculators on what you should be doing with protein intake. I have found that 1 gram of protein per 1 pound of lean mass is usually ideal for a vast array of different goals. Now, there'll be arguments all over the boards on, no, that's not right. You should eat 250 grams of protein, or you should eat 2 grams of protein, per, pound of body weight, not lean mass. But in reality, if we're talking aesthetics, why would we want to feed tissue that we don't want to keep, i.e. adipose tissue? So our dieting should be based on our lean mass or our engine, meaning bone, ligaments, tendons, muscles, organs only, not necessarily the adipose tissue. So I'm not a huge fan of basing diet on full body weight alone. I think that basing it on a lean mass number is far more appropriate for most people, not only in aesthetics, but also in health. So how do we get a lean body mass number? Well, there's 2 major ways that we can do it. One, we can go and get a DXA scan. That's a full body MRI that'll give us a down to probably a 0.10% body fat measurement to allow us to get an idea of where our lean mass is. Another way is to use a skilled practitioner in bioprint, which is a 14-site skin fold test that was originally developed by Charles Poliquin. The bioprint comes within 1 to 2% of the DEXA scan. So a highly trained practitioner in bioprint can also get you really close to that lean mass number. Once you find that lean mass number, then you can calculate your protein, which should be times 1. So if I'm 225 pounds of lean mass, I need 225 grams of protein. Now, you might be able to eat more than that, and it might be helpful, and it might just be wasteful. But in my overall opinion, I think this is a good start. The next thing that we need to dive into is calories. So now that we have a lean mass number, what we want to do is we want to find calories. And so if I weigh 200 pounds, of lean mass and I want to look really lean and I want to have that aesthetic appearance, I'm going to need to be around 15 to 16 calories per pound of lean mass. So we'll do the math real quick, and that's how many calories you're going to need. Now, basing this on protein, we know that protein is 4 calories per gram. So if we need, say, a 200-pound lean mass, we need 200 grams of protein. Then we know that 200 times 4 is 800 calories of your daily intake is going to be from protein. The rest of it are going to be divided between fats and carbs. We'll get into that in a different video, but my point being is that we need to know our protein intake. So now we'll start getting into a couple of gym things. I don't want to go too far into this first video intake, but there's one big thing that I think people miss out: rep ranges. And so rep ranges are really important for aesthetics and hypertrophy. And for most of us, we've heard that between the 8 and 12 rep range is ideal. And I'm not here to tell you that that's wrong. But what I am here to tell you is if you read a lot of high-level books, they're going to tell you a vast array of different repetition ranges is ideal for maximal muscle growth. Why is that? Well, not only do we have type 1 and type 2 fibers and type 2A and type 2B fibers, we also have maybe 25 to 35% of our makeup is hybrid fibers, which have different myosin chains, and they also adapt to different loading parameters. Oftentimes, very good athletes tend to be pure fibers in their pure sport. So, for instance, an NFL running back is probably going to be a lot of type 2X fiber, right? Whereas a long distance runner is going to be a lot of type 1 fiber. But there are hybrid fibers that we also play around with that can change through training. And so what you find is that if you want a full spectrum of hypertrophy, a lot of those different fibers need to be addressed. So if you look at a lot of top level books, they tell you for hypertrophy ranges, you need to be between 3 to 5 reps at the lowest and 20 plus reps at the highest. If you come onto wenningstrength.com and go onto the Patreon workouts or the Train Heroic workouts, you'll find that we fit this parameter very, very well. Now, depending on if you're trying to be super strong or you're trying to be super lean, the big difference is diet. So again, what I would try to tell you guys is if you're looking for the ideal rep range, I'm sorry to tell you that it's probably not there. I say 70%, 65% of the time, you're probably going to need to be in that 8 to 12 range. But a lot of that's based on time. So if we look at hypertrophy in a time parameter, so let's say we do a set and we don't worry about how many reps we get. We just worry about how long it takes to do the rep. We're going to be somewhere between 40 and 50 seconds for that set to be ideal for us to put on muscle mass. So there is a time under tension aspect to it as well. But if we want to hypertrophy everything, then we're going to need to train all different types of rep ranges. So I hope this video helps you if your major goal is aesthetics to start dialing in and making sure that if you're first starting, remember, this is just as much of, if not more, a diet equation as it is a training equation. If you need any help with rep ranges or anything like that, come on to Custom Online Coaching, check out our hypertrophy or power building manuals, or at the most important, you can come on to our online coaching where we can custom dial everything to your workouts and your equipment. This is Matt Wenning. Talk to you guys soon and see you at wenningstrength.com.